Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We are group 4, the Honeycomb, and I'm Lela. We have Joao, Dina, and Angela presenting our idea today. We've based our model off of the bee, an animal whose natural and organic processes support the reciprocity, growth, and ultimate survival of the species. Bees are self-sustaining and work within a decentralized system that does not rely on a hierarchical structure to function. The reciprocal model feeds the community of animals as well as their unique environments. Here is a glossary of terms that we will be referring to during our presentation. We're just going to give you some definitions. The honeycomb, the overall collaborative global filmmaking ecosystem with local flavor. The prisms, these are the local communities that support one another. Why do we call it a prism? A collective honeycomb is made up of prism-shaped cells. A prism is a 6-sided hexagon that leaves no wasted space and easily connects to other prisms. The bees. The bees include anyone who wants to be connected to the creative process of filmmaking. That could include filmmakers, funders, in-kind donors, and the various levels of audience members. The honey, the completed film project that is distributed to the general populace. And the honey pot, a virtual platform hosting all honeycomb projects with built-in social networking tools. Joao, you're muted.
Oops, I just said thank you. Lela, thank you twice, I guess I should say. And now my turn is to tell you more about the honeycomb. The honeycomb facilitates the creation and distribution of independent films. The ultimate goal is to build a global network of prisms that are interconnected and collaborative, thus a cross-pollination of resources. And if I could quote the scientist Alex Wild, the beauty of a decentralized system is that a project can succeed even if an individual part fails. Thank you, Roy. Nice. Now, let's talk about our networking platform. It will be provided in 2 assets. One of them, in-person opportunities for local prisms, plus number 2, it will provide a web-based model that ensures that people from various socioeconomic backgrounds and generations are able to access resources offered by the honeycomb. I'd love to tell you more about the model. The honeycomb follows a 501c3 nonprofit model, thus allows donors to make tax-deductible investments in our stories, makes the honeycomb eligible for grants and in-kind donations. So all of you that want to give us some donations, please do so. And allows for Prisms, our filmmaking community, to use the honeycomb as a fiscal sponsor. Let's talk about the prisms themselves. The prisms are a cohort of people coming together, including filmmakers, donors, and community members who want to be connected to the filmmaking process, from a restaurateur who wants to donate their local location to super film fans. Any one of these groups or a combination thereof can start a prism in their home base. Membership is built out by the individual members of the prism, and founding and existing members invite new members to join for free. Membership is dependent on giving back to the group based on expertise and interests. Prisms are required to abide by the Honeycomb's community guidelines, very important. Once the capacity of a prism is reached within a certain location, then a new prism may form. And finally, diversity is ensured by the mosaic that is formed when prisms from many places come together to form the honeycomb.
Thank you, Joao. So within our honeycombs and prisms, we have our bees. The bees are the individual members of the prism and include anyone who wants to be connected to the creative process of filmmaking. Although prisms exist on local and regional levels and members sign up with their home prism, no one is restricted from contributing to other prisms. So our filmmakers start or come to a local prism with a production-ready project, or connect through their home prism with a prism in another location. Local prisms can have multiple projects in various stages of production that global members of the Honeycomb can choose to support. Prisms share resources towards the making of their films, from gear to wellness support, as well as guidelines for transparent, accessible, and sustainable filmmaking practices. Our donors enter the Honeycomb by joining their local prism. Donors may include local philanthropists, businesses, and organizations who are interested in gaining access to projects around the world that align with their specific giving and impact principles. Donors are able to connect to projects based on location and interest and decide if they want to pitch themselves for specific projects. Donors' return on investment includes directly supporting specific storytellers, access and connection to the process of filmmaking, supporting the democratization of stories that get told, fertilizing the creativity and sustainability of a community, and opportunities to invest and connect with storytellers around the world. And we have our audiences, also known as pollinators, who enter the Honeycomb by joining their local prism, gaining access to the global Honeycomb network. These are people who are super fans of movies and crave being connected to the filmmaking experience. They can follow and promote films from any prism and can choose films to support based on their personal interests. They pollinate other audiences and hype the films being made in the Honeycomb by sharing behind the scenes experiences and other unique content generated within the prisms throughout the film's production, helping to develop a global audience for all Honeycomb films.
Thanks, Dina. All right, and now we get to the honey. So this is the final film. The Honeycomb's films are distributed through traditional and non-traditional distribution models, grassroots screenings, and partnerships with brands and organizations. Virtual screenings will also be incorporated as a part of the distribution model for maximum accessibility. The decentralized distribution model can attack new audiences who can help to support the continued life of the film well past its initial release. And that brings us to our honey pot. Films live on in the honey pot, which is a free advertiser-supported platform where subscribers have access to watch, review, and connect around the movies with social networking tools. So now we're going to take you through assembling our honeycomb, and we're going to do this via going through a prototype. So we'll take you through the prototype to see how in reality we can start to build a mosaic of prisms. So we have our filmmaker, Dina, and she has started a Baltimore prism around her film. Though she could shoot the film in Baltimore, her project is set in Omaha. She'd much rather shoot the film within the local community as it would be more impactful. Through the Constellation Incubator Lab, Dina meets Joao and Lela and myself, Angela. Although I'm based in the Bay Area, it just so happens that I grew up in Omaha, and I have connections to community members who own local businesses and pollinators who would be interested in showcasing their community. Joao, who lives in Doha, also happens to know donors that are interested in funding social stories with Indigenous characters. Lela, who's in Wichita, is also connected to filmmakers in the Omaha area. So Lela's connections allow Dina to hire a local crew. My connections provide in-kind resources for the production, including locations and meals and wellness resources for the crew. The local film fans who are excited about connecting to a movie being shot in Omaha become our pollinators. And Joao's connections donate to the film and find that there are other interesting stories in Omaha that they'd like to support. The design team assists Omaha in building their first local prism, with Bay Area, Wichita, and Doha soon to follow. So upon completion of the film, special screenings take place in each of the design team's home cities, and the film plays at festivals, art house cinemas, and finds its final home in the honey pot for global audiences to enjoy.
Our final outcomes. The impact of the film's release is not just the existence of the film itself, but the ways in which it deeply connects with the users, investors to a more direct and tangible understanding of the personal impact of their contributions, filmmakers to sustainable creative communities, and bridging audiences to more avenues for communing around cinema.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we look forward to hearing your feedback. Thank you. Bzzz.